Good morning, Earth. My name is Mackenzie Reed, and I'm your news forecaster on the news that actually matters. Today's July 16th, and the year is 1994. I have just received notification that the Rwandan genocide is officially over. After 800,000 deaths, mainly of Tutsi minority, 100 days later ended after the rebel perpetrator forces seized back territory and established a government with both Hutu and Tutsi administrators. Although the genocide officially began on April 7, 1994, motives for the genocide arose when Belgian forces implemented a form of government that discriminated against people of Hutu race and left Tutsis in power as they looked more European. Now welcome our surprise guest, Susan Phillips.
Hi ma'am, my name's Suzanne Phillips, and I was just wondering what the difference between a Hutu and a Tutsi is.
I'd be glad to answer that, Suzanne. The Hutu is generally characterized with darker skin, broad, wide noses, and a shorter structure, while Tutsis are characterized with lighter skin, thinner noses, and taller structures.
So why did the Hutus start killing the Tutsis?
As I said earlier, tensions originated from the Belgian colonization. As Europeans decolonized, Belgium decolonized as well. After Belgium gives Tutu people power, educational opportunities, and a higher social status than the Hutus were fed up, if you will, with discrimination against them. And once Belgium decolonized, they lashed out in mass killings, attempting to cut out all of the Tutsi population in a genocide.
How did the rest of the world react to what was going on in Rwanda?
No countries did anything to stop the fighting between the Hutu rebel army and the Rwandan army. The United Nations stepped out of the way of Rwanda and did nothing to stop the genocide happening right before them.
How did the Hutus organize and carry out such mass killings?
The Hutus controlled a radio station called RTLR. Their signal to begin killing their Tutsi neighbors was cut the tall trees. They would often send out Tutsi addresses and locations via the RTLR radio station.
Exactly how many people were killed, and how was the genocide resolved?
Exact numbers are uncertain. However, roughly 3/4 of the Tutsi population, about 800,000 Tutsis, were dead. Aside from Tutsis, any Hutus helping Tutsis were also killed. Between 250,000 and 500,000 Tutsis, women, were raped. After the Rwandan army seized back the capital of Kigali, a more equal system was put into place.
And now, a short overview of the Rwandan genocide.
Belgians enforced ethnic identity cards promoting racial tension between their Hutu and Tutsi-controlled tribes. Tribal warfare between the tribes remained calm until 1959.
Belgians granted Rwanda their independence. Soon after, President Kayibanda granted the Hutu people their independence in 1962. Then, the juvenile Habyarimana overthrew him and the Hutu took power.
On April 6, 1994, President Habyarimana's plane was shot down after he signed a peace treaty with the Rwandan Patriotic Front. The Hutus blamed this attack on the Tutsis and used this as an excuse to start the massacre. The Interahamwe was a Hutu gang trained to hate and kill Tutsis. The Rwandan genocide was essentially a battle between the Interahamwe and RPF. Although the genocide was the shortest to ever exist, lasting only 100 days, 3/4 of the Tutsi population and 20% of the country's overall population was slaughtered. Rwanda was very economically unstable to begin with, and Hutu attackers used cheap tools to commit their crimes, using mainly knives, spears, machetes, and a whip made of hippopotamus hide. 2 years prior to the genocide, 2,500 United Nations forces were deployed to Rwanda and recognized and alerted the United Nations of the rising tensions between the groups. However, the United Nations refused to help during the genocide, claiming that the fighting was only a civil war between the two groups.
That's all for today's newscast. My name's Mackenzie Reed, and thanks for tuning in to the news that actually matters.